We talk about body dysmorphia, right? Which narcissistic parents give us. They're reflecting back a distorted version, but they give us life dysmorphia and emotional dysmorphia, where we don't really know what we're feeling. We just know that we have all this feeling, but it's so dangerous to feel it. That to me, like I cultivated a practice of what I called emotional mindfulness early on, where I would just acknowledge if I was sad, I would write, I am sad.
Hmm.
You know, if I was angry, I would write, I am angry. You know, and I still have these little post-it notes. I'd carry it around. And like, if I felt a feeling that I could identify, I would write it down and I would acknowledge it. I would bring it out of my internal experience. And something about writing, at least for me, makes it real. Like it takes it and puts it, you know, it puts it out into the real world. And you know, to me, that was me starting to build myself through the acknowledgement of my self state, you know.
I think it's very important to be able to put words to our emotions and words to our feelings as well. And some people might say, well, you're intellectualizing your healing, but I like what you said, where no, we have to understand it in our own terms so we can even get to the points where we're working through it.
Well, there's where Paracelsus comes in great handy again. Everything can be poison or medicine based on context or dosage. And so this intellectualizing trauma thing is a big kind of buzz thing right now. And I see both sides of it. I think specifically for the children of narcissists, the early phase is intellectualizing it because we have to reclaim the narrative and reestablish the narrative from our perspective, right? And so there is an intellectual layer to it. But I also agree with the people saying you can't intellectualize your trauma because the trauma exists somewhere in a different part of our brain than cognitive thought, right? And so like we have to like get to the point where we understand the story from our perspective of what happened, establish it, inhabit it, only to kind of understand that that moves us into the next phase of the kind of somatic stuff, the nervous system stuff. And that's where I think some of these things like EMDR and DBR and some of these new modalities are really interesting and helpful.